such an asshole.
Boom. AssholeConsulting.com. You got questions. Cappy's got answers at AssholeConsulting.com, where I, the world's only professional asshole, will give you the swift kick in the ass that you so desperately need because your father wasn't around, or your mom just broke up with the family because, well, not happy. Keep getting divorced, ladies. I need your broken children to come to me in the future. Yes, yes. Feed the Asshole Consulting Corporation. Yes. Good, good. Hey, Aaron, have written you in the past and used your advice to great effect. 23 and about to graduate from college with no debt and a bachelor's of computer science. Was originally doubly majoring, but I need to get out of the expensive liberal hellscape of university ASAP. I just accepted a job offer as a programmer at a top-tier place starting January 1st, working on stuff. I don't want to, you got a unique background. I don't want to give it too much away. I'm interning there right now, and I've had to teach myself the basics of the job remotely due to the disease. Salary starting at $80,000 with extensive benefits, and I live in one of the cheapest cities in the country. I have about 10 coworkers, and they all are deeply conservative, friendly, and top in their field, which is nice. Dude, that's great, man. It doesn't happen like that. It's a super niche and difficult field. I could easily pull in 200 to 400,000 per year. If I stuck it out long term, it could survive the learning curve. It's so obscure that there are only maybe 50 people in the world that work in it. All right, things look good on paper, but I'm extremely bored and nervous about my path in life. The job is brutally hard, and I feel like I have a bit of imposter syndrome. I'm learning a lot, and my boss has been happy with my work ethic and self-learning, but I fear that when I go full-time, I won't be able to keep up the pace and difficulty of the job. Well, I think you need two items here. Your boss already has worked with you since you've been interning, so he probably knows your abilities. I don't think he'd give you the job, especially with important stuff riding on it, like this company is you're working for. I don't think they'd take a chance with you. I think you're probably doing just fine. Or he thinks that you have the potential to do just fine. Of course, you're going to have to learn more. You're going to have to study a lot when you get in there. But I would not say imposter. You probably got that job fair and square. And they need new young blood. I mean, they can't just have old farts like me, like, oh, because old farts like me want to retire someday. Oh, Frank can't retire. So they're, and I don't think they're going to leave you out hanging. But I think you need to have a little bit more faith. Whatever reason, I think your boss saw something in you that he thought you could do it. Yeah, and you are going to have to study hard. So let's put that fear to bed. I fear incompetence may show once I get real tasks as an actual employee, then I will be left out in the dust during this disease recession. I have no friends. My roommate, who used to be my only good friend, has fallen deep into liberalism and depression. I have no romantic interest since my last relationship was a year ago, and I'm bored of my hobbies. I'll get new ones. Those are kind of lame hobbies. One's pretty good. I can't judge hobbies. I'm giving you a guff, but I wouldn't choose those. I'm so bored that I pretty much fill around with work stuff to try and learn a bit more on the weekends. It's super dense and technical, but I can't think of anything else more fun to do. Dude, sometimes that's how life works. Like right now, I mean, I should be like, yay, but there's no one my age or peer group like, oh, I guess I could go hang out with 19-year-olds. I guess they don't have anything to do, but I don't want to hang out with people 19 years old. No offense to you 19-year-old kids out there. And I'll go and I'll get a bunch of work done, and then I'll go for a run, or I'll go to the gym, or I'll do my thing that I like to do, and I'll call up. I've stopped calling buddies, frankly, because everyone's working during the daytime too. But I've just kind of given up on that. And the house isn't built, and a lot of times life is going to put you in a position where the only thing for you to do is work. That's the best use of your time. And that's usually what I end up doing. I'll go and I'll work like 6-7 hours in the day, get everything done. And then I'll look around. And the only thing left to conclude is I guess I'll go work some more. I'll run my errands, lift weights. So that happens. Sometimes you're in a desert of social activity. Sometimes it's the complete opposite. Like during the Great Recession, I know people that you couldn't find a job. And some of the smarter ones, like, well, the only thing left to do is play. But if you're going to play, go play hard. I spent 2 summers out in South Dakota. Of course, I did most of my stuff online. But a bunch of my friends, some of who were unemployed, they came out for a long time. And there's no work to do. All you can do is go have fun. So you come back from hiking or whatever. What do we do? I remember that and said, oh, man, that was great. wake up, get breakfast, let's go for a hike. When we go for a hike, we come back, let's go for a motorcycle ride. Let's go shoot guns. Let's go find fossils. Let's go for another hike. There's no work to do. So you have to acknowledge what your environment is and live by that. And, if you're starting a new job and it's a steep learning curve and you're worried about, but there's a lot of potential, maybe now you at least let go of the worry and fret that you don't have anything to do and that you're bored. Okay, fine, you're bored. Well, now is the ideal time, especially now that you're supposed to stay in. The stars are aligning not for you to have a social life, but by God, kid, if you can make $400 grand a year doing this stuff, once you get some years experience on you, buckle down, lock and load, and you just put your nose to the grind. And you don't waste the energy worrying about a social life that you can't have. Not the one you're missing out on. You're not missing out on anything. People are staying home. Your generation kind of sucks. They don't do anything fun. Come on, Cappy, that's not fair. We stay at home and play video games and jerk off to porn. Yes, that may have been fun back in the day, but I'm just saying. More so, maybe go outside. Certainly develop new hobbies if you want. Find some new hobbies. But maybe this is the time. Since there's no opportunity cost for you to work all the time, why don't you do 80-hour work weeks? Still go out, get some exercise, say hi to whatever family and friends you have. But maybe this is it. You put in 2 years of hard, nose to the grind work, and it saved you decades of labor in the future. And then when all of a sudden dynamics change, maybe they move the company headquarters to a more vibrant part of the country. Maybe there's some really cool guys they hire over at the different department. Maybe once the disease restrictions are lifted, you can go ahead and play baseball or join, and then you find a new passion. But in the meantime, it's not like, I'm bored with work. I don't want to work anymore. So I'm going to go out and do nothing. There may not be another option. So go back to work, crunch it down. That'll give you point, purpose, and agency in life. And it'll stop you worrying about the fact that there's nothing else to do. Have been unhappy for about 10 years. All right. Well, that's more endemic to you and your upbringing and maybe your biochemistry in your brain or neurochemistry, but it's gotten substantially worse recently. Yeah, as it should. Look, it's not your fault that this bad flu has been going around and our delusional governors are having everyone stay in. Oh my God, don't communicate with other humans. It's not your fault. So, but yes, it's understandable. It has gotten worse. But again, don't think that you have to cure the lockdown or that you have anything to do. Like somehow you have agency or control over this. Forgive yourself that much. But if you've been unhappy for 10 years, well, I don't know what it is, but you better go talk to a therapist or someone. And by the way, I'll say it again. I don't believe jack in the authenticity or veracity of psychology. I think it's a big scam and a sham, especially with the American Psychological Association coming out with just being rank Marxist anti-male shtick. I'm trying so hard not to curse. So that is proven to me beyond a shadow of a doubt. These guys are frauds. But you do need to talk to someone who has a profession talking to someone, and preferably it will be that grizzled Vietnam vet. But you better do some soul searching, figure out why you've been unhappy for 10 years. And then you better change that or figure that out. And that helps to talk to an independent third party. Don't think there's anything wrong with me, but it's the world that's sick around me, and I am just one of the few people smart enough to see it. Yeah, did you read Curse of the High IQ? Get used to embracing the suck. Yes. Every day, man, I know. Sitting there waiting in line. Fat middle-aged gal, well, a little bit older than me. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have the unagi, and I'll have the sashimi, and then give me some miso soup. Thank you very much. Oh, there's a corpse here. That's too bad. Yeah, I know how it goes, but read that book. Hopefully, I can't solve your problem. I can explain it, which will give you sanity. All I can give you is sanity. I can't solve your problem. I can't make you feel better. One of the few people smart enough to see it. Either that or the liberal psychologists are right and I'm actually depressed. It could be both. You could actually be depressed Maybe you do have to get on antidepressants. Maybe you're one of the legitimate cases, not some weak, spoiled kid from the suburbs who, like, mommy didn't buy you a brand new convertible cabriolet. That's an 80s joke, but most of you won't get that. Looking for your thoughts on my current situation. I could get my spirits up. Should I buy a motorcycle once I start full time? Yeah, that's a great idea. I know the area that you live in, and you're coming up into some prime riding time. I think that's a brilliant idea. Dude, that helped me. The hiking and the motorcycle riding, that helped me for a solid dozen years. Still helps me to this day. But absolutely, and you're one of the best states to do. We'll just leave it at that. You're in one of the best states to go motorcycle riding. That looks fun. I just bought a nice gun to protect myself for when the police get defunded in my city. Should I see what competitive shooting world's like? Yeah, go do that. Of course, man. Like, I didn't think I'd like kayaking. I didn't think I'd like ballroom dancing. I turned out loving. Yeah, you just try some. That's not going to hurt you. Go and trying different things. Absolutely. Move back home and save up for a house to give myself a goal. I'll tell you this, if your home is close to where you would be working, just save the rent. I'd save rent until this whole disease blows over. Also, as I get more and more data, especially after I've done the data and research for this, the real reason you would get out on your own as a young man to have your own place to have a girl to bring back home to and your parents aren't there, it doesn't sound like there's any in your world. And I don't think in that town there's going to be any because I've been to that town. I know that town. And yeah, you can find some girls on meth. Do you like fat, tatted up, tattooed girls on meth? Plenty of those down there. But yeah, man, I just live at home. And then with the money you save on rent, then go get a hotel on the obscure chance you meet a girl. I also think maybe talking to your old man and hang out, as long as they're not psycho. Okay, don't go moving into a toxic environment. I'm assuming you have good parents. Just looking for some ideas and thoughts. Sorry if this is a bit free form. Also, more late night Cappy voice. That is your finest work. I only do that because everyone's sleeping. Late night Cappy. Got to play some jazz. Get my Barry White voice going on. If I could ever pull off that kind of baritone voice. Don't tell me if it's baritone. I don't know what it is. You're also in a part of the world where you could do some amazing hiking. So let me see. I think I sent you another email. What town? Where's your dad? You're in the town I guess you were in. Nice outdoor stuff for hiking. Sorry, but I'm not really into it. Get into it. Go. I could give you a ton of places to go hiking around there. Dad has been president my whole life. Oh, your dad helped you get the job, did he now? I should have charged you a lot more. I should have added the nepotism fee. Yeah, I don't want to mention any more of this stuff because it's pretty specific. Yeah, dude, you're just going to have to get out. I think that's going to be the hallmark of young men, true men today, but young men today. A true man today, because you have everything else going against you. You've had women taken away from you. You've had your agency and purpose taken away from you. Government checks have replaced you. You're constantly reminded by every media outlet, social, internet, mainstream, that you're bad or you're privileged or whatever else. And if you're not a leftist, I'm sure that you're taxed as well. But the real sign of a man today, the real obligation men have today, is you don't let that bother you and you get up anyway. I don't know if you've seen Lethal Weapon. I think it was the first one where he's crying and I think he sees his wife's picture because his wife died and he's got the bullet and he's thinking about killing himself. And he gets up one more day and then, was it Roger? Says, "You got a death wish, man. What's it?" And he says, I heard a voice, "Get up." And that's what you got to do. You got to get up and go out. I think the hiking would do you lots of wonders because cardio actually does release a lot of, not melatonin that puts you to sleep, whatever good, feely, happy chemicals are in your brain. I think you should get into that. And yeah, man, absolutely. The motorcycle riding. Oh man, you're in a really good state for that. You're just and it's the season. So I would do that, but be safe. All right. We have a Miss Super Chat. Robert Flores for $10 from the previous one. California fires. They could harvested some of the trees to create a less dense forest. A couple of $1 billion of timer that got burned, whose value could have been used to expand state parks. It could have also helped lessen the lumber shortage we have, because the disease prevents us from getting Canada wood, which is the name of Rhinestone's porn star name. That's Canada Wood. That's so we got Rob, so we got that. And don't worry, we're going to do a Miss Super Chat show here once I get back from hiking up in Utah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to go to the chat room. That's how that works. That's how I'm all your bizatches. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Nonstop Dre, $5. What are your thoughts on Boise, Idaho? Got offered government contracting there. I'm not a big fan, Dre. I went there, and it's on the high plains, so it's not it's not in the mountains. It's not like Denver where you could see the mountains. Way off in this, you could see some foothills. But the Bitterroot Mountains, which are the Sirius Mountain Range, are a little bit further away. It's windy, it's cold. Reminded me a lot of Casper, Wyoming. Obviously a lot nicer. But it was boring, man. Not that I was looking for a nightlife, but yeah, I came up out of Oregon, went up onto the high plains, came through Nampa, and I'm like, is this it? And it kind of goes into a little valley, and there's a downtown. They got Dutch Brothers coffee. That was pretty cool. But you're not in the mountains. You're a good 40 minutes away from any serious hiking. So if you're thinking about that, go Missoula, go Coeur d'Alene, northern Idaho, preferably. Twin Falls, I think, but that's not as big. It's better than New York. It's better than California. But I just wasn't impressed with Boise. Cosanadio for $5. Why is male nature and pop psych diagnosed as a disorder? Because psychology is one of the social sciences, and the social sciences, I wouldn't say it originally set out to install communism or anything, but the social sciences is basically faux studies so weak-minded, fraudulent people don't have to work a real job or do real math or like engage in the real sciences. Dumb people can claim to have doctorates too. And because it hails out of academia, as that's the number one place of employment, these people need their money from the government, and so they are for socialism in that one narrow way. Why they hate men, I don't know. It could be they didn't always hate men, like think Dr. Fraser Crane, but I think that's more of a recent development with feminism being turned up to 15 now, beyond what it was in the 70s and 80s, beyond what was in the 90s and the aughts. I mean, it's just, it's fashionable. And I also think victim politics have gotten into academia and thus the social sciences and thus psychology, where, those people are the oppressors and those not people are the victims. And I just also think that there's some genuine misandry, which is the opposite of misogyny, which is the hatred of men. I think there's a lot of that there. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's part of the current social zeitgeist to be anti-male and anti-patriarchy is cool and hip, and that's like you're so woke and so intellectual. Yeah, I don't know why. I have no idea why. I don't know why the American Psychological Association would come out basically hating on men. I really don't understand that. But they are mental. They are mentally insane. Read the book, How Not to Become a Millennial. I talk about psychology boomers, and you look at the data, and these psychologists are a bunch of they're mentally ill. Psychologists are one of the highest mentally ill. Dude, I'll trust a criminal. But at least the criminal's like, yeah, I just want free money. All right. Psychologists, well, you see, according to Jung and Freud. About the only psychologist I've seen that I trust would be Jordan Peterson. And look at how much his profession hates him, because he's true. He's right. If there's nothing wrong with you, like, here's another reason would be a financial incentive. If you could get half the population to automatically be diagnosed with a mental illness called your gender, then you go, you need training, and then who do they employ? Psychologists. I have a special. You see all these idiots that got their diversity and inclusion degrees, and now some of them, the lucky few, are actually getting hired. It's the same thing. Well, I'm a specialist in toxic masculinity. Have me consult your company for $500 an hour with government grants to create a safe working environment. Watch my video with Rollo Tomasi. We talked about how there is no future in a corporation. Like if you want to succeed, let alone be happy or content in your career, you can't work for a corporation now. Django Geek for $2. Should I keep my savings liquid or in asset form? Well, savings are supposed to be used for 3 months emergency living expenses in case you get laid off or something. I mean, it depends on how much. Like if you had 100,000 in savings, I'd be like, yeah, you can convert some of that to some investments, but you need ideally 6 months savings. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, links down below. AssholeConsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.